Hi, I'm RV Hodge, and I'm responsible for the new hull construction here at Jarrett Bay Boat Works. We have 4 boats going on right now, so we're very busy, and as you can see, we have boats in various stages. One of them is at a later stage and will be launched later this year. Some of them are just getting started. Here we are on hull 66. This is our actual latest build, and what we're taking a look at here is the stringer construction. This is freshly glued up, so that means everything is sticky. And as you can see, there are a lot of clamps. There's no such thing as enough clamps in a boat shop. This is where all of that massive structure begins, is laminating this. And one of the reasons that laminating is important is because every surface that is bent and laminated creates a whole different level of tension. So there are multiple levels of differing tensions, similar to the way bridge trusses are built, in order to make a structure super strong. Obviously, we want our boats to be super strong. They're gonna have thousands of horsepower driving them, driving great big boats into big seas, and well, they like to go fast. So right now we're looking at hull number 64. This is a 68-foot boat. This boat is at the advanced stages of frame structure. Now the frame structure is all laminated into place, and then the stringers, which are the heart and soul of the boat's structure, get shaped in really in a 2-step process. The first step is we go up there and we scribe off the lines, and we take a chainsaw and we rough it in with a chainsaw. It's a little unnerving to some people to see that because it looks like we're gonna do damage, but we're really not. We're just taking away the bulk of the biggest extra material we have. And then comes the precise work where we use the planers. That's what all that racket is you're hearing in the background. And in the end, they'll sand everything down and get it very precise. Let's take a look at hull number 65. This is a 64-foot boat. And in the engine compartment, what we do that is a very behind the scenes, but is very critical to the structure of the hull, is the lamination schedule on our engine beds. Now, these are stringers right now, but they turn into engine beds by the time we're done with them. They have to be built up to a given height, and they have to be modified to a specified width, and that varies motor to motor. One process, though, that is really critical that happens on all of these is that they get an 1.5-inch layer of aluminum. That's a pretty solid chunk of aluminum, and that gets laminated into the engine bed. We'll center that where we believe the motor's going to set, and that gives us a couple of inches of play through the whole design process, because as you can see, this part happens about a year before the motors actually go into place. There's a lot of moving parts in all of this, so that gives the engineering team time to figure out exactly where everything's going to set. It looks like a great big space right now, but by the time we fill it up with motors and generators or whatever else is going into this space, it'll get a lot smaller fairly quickly. We're boarding the privateer, which is Jarrett Bay hull 63, but what we have going on today, that's the main event, is the mechanics are aligning the motors in order to drill and tap for the motor mounts into the stringers. When I'm talking about the precision involved in lining up the engines on the engine beds, the motor is on the front end, but it's the last thing mounted. The strut is already mounted permanently, and the shaft tube, or they're sometimes referred to as the shaft lug, that's kind of an old school term, are permanently mounted, and they have bearings in them. There's about 0.08 of an inch of play in each of these bearings, which means you don't have much room to wiggle by the time this shaft gets up to the motor. So the precision of the alignment and all of these things in advance dictates where the motor has to sit.